All right, have and have not fans, here we are with a new video on the channel, the haves and have not review. If you are new to the channel, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content I post on the channel, whether it be a live stream, episode review, theory discussions, as well as just open-ended videos about all things Tyler Perry related. Now, we're going to talk about the most talked about scene from the last episode, Team of Rivals, and I'm labeling this kind of like a mega video because I'm about to do something in this video that I've never done before. I took some time, the past hour and a half actually, to put something special together. So with that being said, get ready to watch something that's incredible, at least to me. I feel like I put a work into it, so I hope you all enjoy it. When we get back, we're going to discuss, was David wrong for hitting Veronica?
You out your damn mind! Are you crazy? Get off me! Get off me, Hannah!
Boy, that escalated quickly.
This I told you! Bitch, no. Get out! No, that's right! I know you go! I hate you! Get out of my house! Get out of my house! Get out!
Well, that's not such a bad idea.
Oh, shit! Say it again! Say something else!
Call me a simple bitch again.
Delusional. Simple bitch.
Damn! Simple bitch! Yo!
Gonna join Morris's group.
I had to pimp slap that bitch.
Get gone, bitch! Oh, this is bullshit. I'm in between a pimp and a hard place. Donna, man down. 11:30. Pimp in distress.
All right, well, I hope everybody enjoyed that little montage of some of the best pimp slaps, cat fights, bitch slaps, and just other altercations from the haves and the have-nots. I thought it was pretty fun to put that together, just going down memory lane, as well as integrating some, pop culture references like Anchorman that escalated quickly, as well as some classics like Say It Again from Next Friday, and the list goes on. Pray that this video does not get flagged for copyright. I'm pretty sure I'm within the fair usage because none of those clips were longer than like 8 seconds, but I had a good time putting that together, and if this video doesn't get flagged or anything, I will definitely do more of that in the future. So I have to say that I've been up since 6 p.m. Well, actually, 8:45 p.m. Long story short, yesterday I've been in a funk. If you saw my live stream, I think I called it "The Friend Zone is a Dead Zone." You know why I wasn't in the best of moods yesterday. But long story short, I read my Bible, worked out, ate nice dinner, and just tried to relax because I wasn't going to watch the episode because I was in that bad of a mood. And I just laid out in my bed at 6 o'clock, woke up at 8:45. The episode was about to come on. I didn't watch, but I kept getting messages from people saying how much they enjoyed it, especially the end when David slapped Veronica. And I was kind of pissed off for a couple of reasons. Number one, this was hinted at in the episode synopsis stating Veronica was going to push David to a point he didn't know he even had. Okay, and I even did a video speculating, does that mean David will kill Veronica? What's he going to do? There was nothing in the trailers or anything that was showing that David would be going over to Veronica's house. That was not anything. Somebody sent me a picture of it, and that kind of pissed me off. But I don't blame them because your fan subscribers, they send me intel as soon as they get it, so I appreciate it. I'm mad at myself for pushing the button to open the message. In any case, 4 o'clock this morning, I watched the episode. and I spent the next couple hours writing notes, getting the photos and everything I needed to do the video. So just to upfront, the episode review for Team Arrivals, the trailer breakdown for Smitten, and a video, if you haven't heard, Monique apparently released some audio clips because she secretly recorded a phone call that Tyler Perry gave her and her husband Sydney. That was something that was dropped in my lap sometime yesterday. Those videos are coming, but this video had to be created first because everyone is talking about it. It was about 5 or 6 a.m. this morning, and Veronica, at least on my Twitter, Veronica was trending with over like 16,000 tweets, and that's pretty insane. I haven't seen Veronica or individual characters of the haves and have-nots trending during an episode, or at least the night of the episode, in some time. So that's a big deal. Everybody's talking about it. But really, this video is kind of breaking down what went into the moment of David slapping Veronica, or backhanding, pimp slap, whatever you want to call it. I actually felt conflicted because, number one, this is something we've been waiting for quite some time, for Veronica to get some comeuppance. But at the same time, when I saw the preview for next week and I saw her face all bloody, basically when I saw the slap, I was shocked. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, damn. I was like, the clip going, oh, like some super hot boy rap battle. And then Friday when they're going, damn. I was like, man, I think even RK went, yo. And I'm just like, he has no idea what he's gotten himself into. And then that's how I felt during the episode. I'm like, oh my, oh man, he slapped the taste out of your mouth. But then when I saw her face bloody in the preview for Smitten, and it looked like there were tears in her eyes, I felt kind of bad. I didn't really know how to break it down. It's like I felt conflicted comparing the moment when she got backhanded to the moment where she picked herself up. And when she picked herself up, you could just see that she looked sad. I mean, number one, surprised by it all. And then in the next episode, looks like RK is getting between the two. Pretty chivalrous of him to stand up for a woman who was, domestically abused. But at the same time, it goes back to what I said before. He has no idea what he's getting himself into. I'm guessing that maybe Veronica and David start going at it a lot, and then RK gets pushed to the back because there is the scene where Veronica's screaming for him to get out, and we see that RK is behind her. So yeah, it seems like he is in the middle, but then it gets to the point where he has to take a background. I mean, it's one of those situations like, Mom, Dad, please stop fighting, go to your room. Okay, because he's only 25. But let me just say this much. In this video, and I'm only 26, but I grew up watching, the Kings of Comedy and Steve Harvey's One Night Stand on HBO special and stuff like that. Not One Night Stand, it was like One Man special. And I know that during his comedy routine, Steve Harvey would say something along the lines of, I know that, I have a mom that had me growing up in the church, and I just want to say that God's my everything. And there's going to be some times tonight where it sounds like I don't know God. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into it. That's pretty much my theme of this video. I am going to be discussing about whether or not David was right for hitting Veronica. There might be times I will try not to be hypocritical, flimsy with my words, whereas I say one thing at the 7-minute mark, but then I contradict myself at the 20-minute mark because it is 7:15 in the morning when I'm recording this. I have my notes here, but as I said, I've been up since like 8:45 because I had a rough day yesterday. But I just want to say that I feel conflicted because I felt like it was a funny ass scene, because seriously, how could you not laugh at what happened? I mean, literally, it was one of those situations where, again, I'm single. I've never been in a domestic violence situation. Have I seen it? Yes, but that didn't involve me personally. But and this oh gosh, it sounds wrong to say, but to be honest, and I know I'm probably going to rub people the wrong way, in a lot of cases, women seem to ask for it. They literally push the guy to the breaking point. At what point? I know it's like, because, I got an older sister, then of course my mom. They're like, never put your hands on a woman and stuff like that. But I've always been wondering, in domestic violence situations, when is it okay to defend yourself? Like, what if she pulls a Bernadette from Waiting to Exhale and burns up all my shit? And then you look at freaking the haves and the have-nots when Candace had a knife. She was going to use that on Oscar. And hell, and even in this episode, she used that golf club on Rocky. At what point is it okay for a guy to defend himself? Not necessarily knock the bitch out, but I'm just saying that, am I just supposed to stand there and watch all my stuff being destroyed, or myself being put in harm's way because I didn't do anything to defend myself? That doesn't make sense to me. But when it comes down to it, you have to think, and I'm going to try to play devil's advocate. And in this case, when we're talking about Veronica, I use the word devil loosely. I want to kind of break down why David did what he did. And to be honest, I remember in that video I did, Will David Kill Veronica? I think in that episode I talk about the episode synopsis for Team Arrivals, because I've been looking forward to this episode for about over a month now, as well as other have and have not fans that I talk with frequently in live streams. And when it comes down to it, I feel that Jeffrey being the trigger is one thing. I thought it would either be Jeffrey or Erica, but I will say this much: Tyler Perry has done a fantastic job with the next week on the haves and have-nots next Tuesday. The trailers have been fantastic, and what's even better is, typically speaking, when it comes to the next episode preview, there is a scene in the episode itself that wasn't in the preview at all. For example, next week is called Smitten. I believe the synopsis was Charles finds out that Landon has ulterior motives. Maybe that means that Charles finds out that Landon is in love with him. Guess what? We didn't see Landon or Charles in the episode preview for next week. That's the kind of stuff I like. Just like Team Arrivals, we had no scenes or trailer information showing that David will be going over to Veronica's house. That was crazy, because I even said that in my episode trailer breakdown for Team Arrivals. Okay, so the episode synopsis says that Veronica pushes David to a point he didn't know we even had, yet we're in the same night, and then they're on the phone with each other. So what's going to happen exactly? And we know Jeffrey isn't going to be involved due to the whole gun thing with Justin. So what's going on here? I was completely fooled. I did not see it coming. That was excellent. But talking about David here, again, I just want to say that I'm going to try not to take sides, but I just want to talk from, his perspective here. You have to look at everything that Veronica has put David through physically and mentally. I mean, I'm just going to list a few things, like on the screen. I'll try to have like a little montage with different photos here, but look at the fact that David and Veronica have had a rift in their marriage ever since the entire, Jeffrey came out of the closet, Veronica disowning him, but then taking it even further when Quincy was sent over by Veronica's request to beat up Jeffrey, and then David found out, constantly being accused of having an affair with Maggie Day, which he didn't do at the time. Having the Benny Young affair with Veronica being rubbed in his face on multiple occasions. Of course, just showing up and stalking David wherever he goes, especially when it's with a new woman, aka Erica, like they had that fight in the elevator. Just showing up at the house, destroying property, burning the cars, burning their original house down with David still in the bed. Veronica orchestrating the assassination of Maggie Day, then rubbing it in David's face. I mean, at what point is enough? I mean, I literally have gotten behind this mic multiple weeks and have said, what the hell is wrong with David? Why isn't he doing anything? How many times does she have to break her restraining order, destroy his property, threaten him, as well as his little whore running around her house? At what point does he snap? I mean, literally. I will say that you can definitely tell that a lot of people criticize Jeffrey for being a wimp, just like his father, David. In a way, I feel like those two are way too passive and forgiving. I just feel like, for the sake of simplicity, I'll just say that you can tell that Jeffrey definitely inherited David's slow to anger mentality. But when you do, you better watch out. Like that punch he gave Justin, my God. I don't know. Here's my thing. Jeffrey has definitely grown a pair in the past couple episodes, but what's happened in the past is every time that's happened where Jeffrey has had at least one or two good episodes in a row where he's standing up for himself, he's confident, he usually regresses to that 5-year-old in the following episode. I hope that doesn't happen. I know in the next episode, David's going to confront him about the whole Justin thing, but I'll get into that in another video. But really, when it comes down to it, I feel that Veronica literally was pushing David to a breaking point that was eventually going to come. I just didn't know what would it take. Would it be killing Erica? Remember, I theorized that what if Erica gets hurt? Veronica sets a trap or something for David. Erica gets hit by mistake, and then David flies off the handle without knowing what her original intentions were for staying at his house to begin with. But I thought it would either be Erica or Jeffrey that would be the trigger. One problem, and this is one problem I don't like about David hitting Veronica, even though she had it coming, he hit her for the wrong reason. He literally went over there in a rage, assuming that Veronica was the one that jacked up, what was it, ransacked or something like that, basically messed up the condo where Jeffrey was staying. Unfortunately, Jeffrey didn't go into full detail, and then David just assumed it was Veronica. But to be fair, I mean, given everything that just happened with the cars and everything at the house, you probably would assume that it was Veronica as well. But what's even worse about the situation is the fact that in the next episode, it looks like David goes over to the condo, discovers Justin was the one that did it. The question is, will David have any regrets for hitting Veronica because he went over to the house thinking she was the one that messed up the condo in the first place? Very interesting. But the worst part about hitting Veronica wasn't the fact that he hit his wife. Remember, they haven't been officially divorced yet, but the divorce is in progress. So sometimes I'll flip between saying ex-wife, ex-husband, or husband and wife. But either way, he hit his wife. But this isn't any wife. This is the Ice Queen. The fact that he hit her literally was like, don't go after our son. Don't go after my son again. And then she retorts saying, I want to go after him twice as hard. And it's even worse because I think later on it said that shoot your best shot. And then Veronica was like, I will, literally. So David, even though he did something that a lot of fans have been waiting for him to do for quite some time, he did it, smacked the taste out of her mouth. And I will admit, one of the funniest comments that somebody sent me was, damn, David slapped Veronica straight to another network. I was rolling. I was done. With Tyler Perry leaving for Viacom in 2020, what if David knocked her into a new series or something like that? That was hilarious. So I forgot the name of the person that sent me that. I'm so sorry, but knocked her to another network. I lost it. Yeah, David actually made things worse. It's kind of like, if you want to throw it back to Mitch, when he found out about the whole Candace being under the thumb of Warlock, because remember, I think he was in the back of his truck with a girl at the tow yard and saw Candace and Warlock meeting outside the fence, and he looked up and saw, Candace being taken advantage of by Warlock. Seeing the situation from the outside looking in, he took it upon himself to help out Candace by staging an arrest with drugs in Warlock's trunk without knowing that Candace actually paid Warlock the money and they were good. So Mitch trying to help by doing something that a lot of fans wanted to see anyway made things worse for Candace, just like how David made things worse for Jeffrey, possibly Erica, and even himself. And I think that when it comes down to it, Veronica is not going to be playing around in the upcoming episodes. Now, just talking about the scene itself, I mean, for one, I'm wondering how much has Veronica had to drink, and remember, it's the same night. I mean, she was apparently drunk before she got to the Artesian Hotel to talk with Candace about her plan about taking care of David and how he wants to have the girl burn and rip out his heart from his very soul. And Candace even asked, have you been drinking? And I'm wondering if she was drunk or drinking before she set the cars on fire. That is something I have wondered about since that episode aired. Not to mention how competent of a driver she appears to be, given the fact that she clearly drove from her house to David's house to the hotel back to her house, and now is just lounging around and enjoying the company of RK, Benny when he came by, and David. And wow, literally, I wonder if she's actually going to remember any of this stuff in the morning. It looks like she's going to have Derek come over, and she looks a bit ticked off, but she seems sober. So maybe she sleeps it off. I have no idea how, because I'm not a drinker, so I don't know about tolerance when it comes to her. But Veronica is certainly something else. But anyway, looking at this scene, I was shocked because, keep in mind, I didn't watch the episode until like 4 o'clock this morning. So when that was all people, I saw a post about, why is everybody talking about Veronica? Why is anyone talking about Jeffrey hitting Justin or Candace beating up Rocky? Well, for obvious reasons. Don't get me wrong, this episode was a trip. I'm probably going to spoil it when I say my score, because usually you know how I do things. When I do my episode review, I give you my score for the episode. I give Team of Rivals an 8 out of 10. I'll go into more detail as to why I'm going to do my episode review. But an 8 out of 10, believe it or not a 10 out of 10, but an 8 out of 10. There are a few nitpicks here and there I didn't like. But yeah, when it comes down to it, David hitting Veronica was the moment of the episode, because it's something we've been waiting years for. Even though in the haves and the have-not timeline, it's only been about a month and a half to 2 months in the making for, David being pushed to the edge by Veronica. And another thing to keep in mind is that not every domestic violence situation can be compared to the Chris Brown Rihanna thing, because when that situation happened, I think Chris Brown addressed that in the what was it called, This Is My Life, or This Is Me. I know it was like the Chris Brown documentary. It's on Netflix. I saw it when it first came out on Netflix. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I prefer old Chris Brown's music, but some of his hits now are pretty good. No pun intended, I swear. But yeah, it's one of those situations where, as I said before, when is it right, if ever, for a man to touch a woman? Especially in the age we live in today with social media and all this stuff, guilty before proven innocent, I need to know both sides of the situation. Yeah, it's never right for a man to put his hands on a woman, but what was the situation? Did she hit some buttons? Did she provoke him? How did it happen? Because women know what buttons to push when it comes to their man. Not to mention the fact that there's a difference between self-defense, or being extremely pissed, versus a man coming home from work and beating his wife because she parked crooked in the driveway, or the meatloaf was burnt. You know what I mean? Versus, this chick is crazy. She is chasing me around with a knife or something along those lines, or she burnt my clothes. You know what I mean? Even when a man is like, sometimes, I'm not in the mood right now, please, I'm pissed, don't bother me right now, and then the woman provokes him. Perfect example in the haves and the have-nots. Look at the episode Diane Winchill. Basically, the episode when Carlos, Celine, and little Jimmy get on TV. When Jim is in the middle of his campaign announcement, he's publicly humiliated until Maggie Day, I believe, took a cup of coffee and poured it over the television equipment, breaking it. Then everybody goes to the main office of the campaign. They go to the main room of the campaign office, and Veronica is literally drilling into Jim that he's messed up, so none of them can go to the governor's mansion. And Jim keeps telling her to get the hell out of the office, but she just keeps on provoking him. It's like, look, do not piss me off. I think even Catherine tries to pull Veronica back because she knows what Jim is capable of. But then she just digs the knife deeper by saying, "How was Wyatt stay?" What? Basically referring to the fact that she knows about Wyatt being in jail and the fact that Wyatt got raped thanks to her, aka Toxic. And when she hit that button, one of the greatest moments of the show occurred when Jim attempted to choke that hoe. And then, of course, David came in and broke it up, blah, 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 blah. But that's something a lot of people don't talk about. Well, then again, this was something that happened in, season 3? So some people either don't remember or came into the series after this occurred. But the fact that Jim actually pulled a David before David was amazing. So if you compare when Jim choked Veronica versus Team of Rivals, you'll see that Veronica basically talked her way into an ass whooping. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but she literally did. When somebody gives you multiple warnings to leave them alone, but you decide to poke the bear anyway, don't get mad when you get slashed. I mean, what are you supposed to say? I mean, he gave her multiple warnings, but then she got choked. Then David literally was just saying, don't push, woman, don't push me. You can only push me so far. And then when David put that finger up, I'm like, And I think at one point, he grabbed her, but then let her go. Then she kept beating his chest, and next thing you know, it happened. I ain't gonna lie, I could watch that all day. It was just something else. I mean, I don't know what's funnier, the fact that David finally, I don't know what was better, the shock of seeing David do what he did versus RK's what's going on here. Now, I also think about the fact that in the next episode, David's like, I pimp slapped that bitch, and then Jim is rolling. It's just, I don't know. It's hilarious. I can't wait, because if you remember, what was it? The season finale of season 4, was it? I get these seasons mixed up. It was basically when Jim and Catherine had sex, and then in the following episode, Jim calls David, like, look, I just took one for the team. You need to throw that wife of yours on the stairs and have sex with her. And David was like, I'm not having sex with her. Basically, it was all about getting the gang together so he can get out of this situation with Jennifer Salas' murder. But to be honest, and I'm going to just say this, I thought that if David put hands on Veronica, she would have been aroused by it. I'm just saying, because there was that scene when David is driving Veronica from the jail after the whole Maggie Day situation, when Veronica got taken in for questioning, and of course she was putting salt on the wound by rubbing it in David's face. He pulled the car over, and I think Veronica was like, you better get your hands off me. What? Why? Look behind us. We're being followed. Because she had a plan in motion in case David went off the deep end. She would have had witnesses. So basically, David pulls over, goes over to the passenger side, and drags her out of the vehicle. Oh, haven't had action like this in years. Yeah. So it got me thinking that she kind of liked that stuff. Not to mention going back to when Quincy tried to force himself on her twice, and she was shaken by the encounters. In a weird way, I always thought Veronica was a bit turned on by that, but oh well, maybe I was wrong. And I like the fact that we can have these. Let me just take a moment, not to get sappy, but just to take a moment to say I'm thankful for this platform where we can have these discussions, because like I said before, I feel conflicted because this was something that had been built up for, in our time, for years. What will be the straw that broke David's back? To make him do what he did is crazy to think about. But also the fact that he really awakened the true bitch within Veronica, so there's no telling what she's going to do now. And then also look at the situation where apparently, if I could be wrong, but sources say that we have 4 more episodes left this season, meaning that July 24th is going to be the finale, if I'm not mistaken. I believe the episode title is, I'm looking through my notes here, bear with me, The Road to Hell. No episode synopsis yet on that. So it seems to me, and I believe the episode after that is called The Black Dress. So It looks like this finale is going to have multiple deaths. I don't know. I'll do a video talking about my thoughts on death on this show. Because Vinny being alive, I got some problems with that. But like I said before, video will be done on that. And the way it's looking, there are going to be more than one casualty in the finale. I will admit this. One thing Tyler Perry is doing very well is making it so it seems like almost anyone is going to be on the chopping block. There are just so many characters. I do love the title of this episode, Team of Rivals, because there are so many factions within this show right now in terms of people working together. This person, you know, has a knife in this other person's back. Who's out to get who's out on their own right now. I may do a video before next Tuesday, kind of doing like a chart or something, going over what we know up until this point, who's working against who has a secret agenda. I will try my best to get that up before next week, but I know that video is going to take a while. And another thing, just not to jump around too much, but a lot of people were saying that they were disgusted by a number of fans who were cheering for domestic violence occurring in this episode. And then you have other people, it's like, well, people complaining about when Veronica got hit by David, but nobody said anything when Wyatt backhand Catherine. Well, for one, I talked about that well in advance. I'm not saying anybody directed those statements towards me, but I remember on this channel saying that I knew I couldn't stomach seeing Catherine getting hit. And this was something we knew back in March when the preview for these episodes came out. I knew it was coming. I just didn't want to see it. And I'm going to judge on this. People are saying, damn, it's hard to tell who got hit further, Catherine or Veronica. To be fair, you can't compare the two. Catherine, Wyatt got some distance with that backhand. That much I'll admit. But to be fair, Veronica, people were, she did a triple axel flip. Nah, she didn't. Really, it's hard to tell who got the most distance because there are some factors involved. When it came to Wyatt backhanding Catherine, there was open space and like wood floor, so it was slick. So that's why Catherine got some distance. On top of that, Veronica, when she got hit, she literally bounced off the couch, so she really couldn't go that far. Not to mention she was on carpet, so even if the couch was out of the way, she probably wouldn't have got that far because the carpet would have broke her fall. So yeah, looks like Wyatt won that competition. And not to mention, both Catherine and Veronica got bloody afterwards. I mean, Catherine had bloody lip, but then Veronica got bloody nose and lip. So I'll say that in terms of damage, I would say that David probably won that one. Weird. And it's even weird that I'm comparing the two, but I know if I didn't, people would ask me in the comment section below. Now, when it comes to the situation itself, I was shocked. I wouldn't say that I didn't completely see it coming, but the synopsis made fans aware that something was going to occur. We just didn't know when it was going to happen within the episode itself. I think that David literally needs to be on the defensive and offense in upcoming episodes because it looks like Veronica is taking no prisoners literally at this point. I really need to sit back and reflect on what we've learned so far, as well as what's going to happen in the upcoming episodes. Due to pacing, I don't even know how many days will pass in the haves and the have-nots. One of the things I'm glad for, well, actually two things in next week's episode. Number one, thank God we moved on to the next day. We've been stuck within the same day or same night for like the past month or so of episodes. And number two, Candace is finally out of that black leather pimp outfit and wearing something very nice. Not to say she didn't look good in the leather, especially with those, I don't know what it is, but those heels with the red bottoms and then that black leather hat. Damn, she looked fine. But then she looks very cute in the next episode, despite the fact she beat the barbecue sauce out of Rocky. And I'll get to that in my episode review. So basically, when it comes down to it, I'd say that David, I can understand why he hit Veronica. I'm not really sure whether it was right or not. The fact that he came over to the house was under the wrong influence because he believed that Veronica was the one that jacked up the condo. I think it was pretty funny in that drunken state. He's like, "You burnt my cars." I did that. And she looked over at the arcane smile and it's like, "You ransacked the condo." I didn't do that. I think that's what she said. But basically, she was at a point where I might as well, hell, I've done so much stuff, I don't even remember. I might as well clean that too. And yeah, it was. First of all, Angela and Peter, just kudos for the way you portrayed yourselves in that scene. I can't wait to see how it's going to pick up in the next episode. And then the fact that we know David's going to be going over to Jim, actually Catherine's house, and talking with Jim about it. I just can't wait to see Jim's reaction. We know he's going to laugh, but my gosh. Another thing is, I wonder if he's going to tell Jeffrey what happened, but also what is his reaction going to be when he finds out that Justin was the one to jacked up the I'm sorry if I can't get the words out. Remember, I've been up a long time. It's super early. When he learns Justin was the one that messed up the condo, will he have any remorse? Will he apologize to Veronica? And also, if Veronica, well, excuse me, not if, when Veronica retaliates, what is David going to do? Is he going to be upset that he brought this on himself? And the reason I say that is because he awoke the true bitch when he slapped her. So I don't like the fact that I feel that Jeffrey is going to be caught in. And I'm really trying to figure out how to word this. Basically, David thought he did what needed to be done, which, to be honest, it was more than him doing nothing to protect his son. But because he did that, he made things worse. Kind of like Hannah going to Warlock in order to prevent him from killing Candace. Because she did that, Warlock had her followed and found out where they were staying at, which led to Quincy Jr. being killed. So even with her good intentions, things were made worse unintentionally. So basically, David slapping Veronica to slap the sense into her. It's kind of funny when you look at her trying to collect her thoughts in a preview for next week. It looks like she's trying to find the sense that David knocked to the floor. I don't know. It was just wow. But man, what a scene. Again, I cannot stop talking about it. It was so great. I feel that this was definitely one hell of a cliffhanger. I think it was a lot better than the cliffhanger last week with the guns, because Justin videos on the way. I'll just leave it at that. But overall, what did you think about it in terms of David slapping Veronica? Were you like me, where it's like you couldn't believe it happened? You were like, it's about time. But then when you saw the preview for next week, and I swear that face Veronica makes when you see the blood running down her nose and her lip, and it looks like she's tearing up, I'm not going to lie, I felt a little bad for her. And it's kind of the opposite of Candace. You know how she beat Rocky with the darn golf club tonight or last night? So when Candace finally gets her comeuppance, see, Tyler Perry did a good job with the I don't know if he did this on purpose, but Angela and Peter, if you are watching this video, first off, thank you so much, because I appreciate your support by you watching my videos, just like I know you appreciate my support from tweeting you all, watching the shows, and of course doing videos based on your characters. If you could just respond in the comments or on Twitter or whatever, let me know. Did Tyler Perry do it on purpose, where he made the cliffhanger go, oh my god, yes, to make fans go, yes, finally, but then flip the script in the preview by having us go, oh no, she's upset? So I feel like the emotional impact was there. And if Tyler Perry did that on purpose, which I'm guessing he did, it hit me. It hit me. Like I literally don't know what to think, because that slap had me going. And then it's like, I pimp slapped that bitch. But then looking at the preview when she's sad and they're yelling at each other, I was upset. I was like, dang, man. I can't wait until next week when I can see the whole scene play out. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video. When I did a little montage of all the different fights and whatever, I know people are probably going to comment, Jeremy, the Chris Tucker thing where he goes, you know, Michael Jackson is a pimp. You've been out here all day and all you guys $100 bill. Ah! Why did you put that clip with Wyatt slapping Catherine instead of when Candace slapped Gia, because that was her bottom bitch and she was a pimp? I looked at that clip on YouTube, but that slap was so weak to me that I didn't feel it was strong enough to be in the montage. So that's why I didn't do that. But overall, one hell of an episode. One hell of a scene, because I'm going to be honest here. I divided this video up into different audio clips. I'll put them together. I think this is clip number 6 or 7. This video is probably pretty long, about one scene in itself. So who knows? Maybe Tyler Perry will watch this video and I'll get an invite to either Tyler Perry Studios or just to be able to chat with him or some along those lines. Wishful thinking, but that's okay. If nothing happens from this, as long as I have at least one fan on my channel that's satisfied by this video, that's good enough for me. And that's what I tell myself every day, even though I would love to go to Georgia to visit Tyler Perry Studios. But in any case, yeah, sorry about that. Computer chair squeaking. One hell of a scene. I can't wait to see where we pick up where we left off. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Was David right for hitting Veronica? What do you think Veronica is going to do in retaliation? Will David apologize? Will Jeffrey find out? When he does, how will he react? Because remember, he might feel somewhat guilty. Maybe a little. Who knows? And not to mention, I hope David warns Jeffrey, because Veronica literally said, I'm going to come after him twice as hard. And we've seen everything Veronica has done to Jeffrey so far. So I really don't know. And I am very interested. Well, it's hard to say if I really want to know what Veronica will do to Jeffrey next, just to spite David. That is not, you know what, not to detour, but not to drag on the video. One of the most hurtful things I think that Veronica has done to Jeffrey, and trust me, there are a lot of things. It was, what was it, in like the beginning of season 3, after Veronica slapped the taste out of Maggie's mouth, you know, multiple times. When Jeffrey and Candace are at Jeffrey's apartment and Veronica's there waiting, and she's trying to like calculate what happened. Like, why would David, he's never done anything like this before. Why would he be in bed with another woman? And then looked up what Jeffrey would discuss is like, because you claim to be, you know, a homosexual and whatnot. That was one of the most disgusting moments of Veronica I've ever seen. She didn't lift a finger. She just lifted her head and then just chewed out her son because he's gay and blamed him for their marriage falling apart without looking at what she did. So again, Angela Robinson, you play the hell out of this role. I know I said it before, but congrats to your baby son. I know when he gets older and looks at these, hopefully by that time the show will be on DVD or something. Please talk to Tyler Perry about that. I know he will have some questions when looking at his mother portraying such an evil, wicked, but amazing character in Veronica Harrington. It was something else. But I need to just stop here because I've been talking too much. I really enjoyed doing a video this long, from making the montage of clips at the beginning to dissecting why David hit Veronica. I know domestic violence, no jokes here. I know domestic violence is something that happens in the world today. I will give kudos to Tyler Perry, because if you really dissect his recent episodes, not to mention the whole series from start to finish, there are real world situations and issues that are, you know, kind of what's the word I'm looking for, intertwined within the dialogue, the characters' actions, things that go down, like, you know, prostitution rings, families divided because parents and the kids don't get along, crooked politicians, domestic violence, of course, as we've seen in the episode tonight, you know, children who come out of the closet and they're disowned by their parents. The list goes on. Literally, I ought to do a video on that sometime. But I really do feel that this should open up the doors to great discussion in the comments below. Keep it respectful. You know, if you disagree with somebody, that's completely fine. This channel is about these open discussions. Let me know what you thought. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really did enjoy doing this video, guys. So I hope that you all will comment your thoughts, share this video around, and like I said before, if this video doesn't get flagged or anything for copyright, I will definitely take the time to do montages like this in the future. So thanks so much for tuning in. I am going to hopefully edit and post this video. It is 8 o'clock on the dot when I'm finishing this recording. So maybe over the next 30 minutes, I can whip this video together, put it on YouTube, and finally get some sleep.